and this is going to be a fun part. So we want to be planning this, like we could, divide this in symmetry. So first, just let me get the size of this object. So I think this is bigger than what we planned for, like 200 by 200 per 2K texture. It might just fit into 2K resolution. We will see. First, let me just going to convert this to editable poly. We can, put up a symmetry modifier and do the unwrapping as well. We could try this, but it's not that much of a a bigger object. Yeah, what the heck? Just do it. Put up a symmetry modifier and convert this to editable poly, and let me just save max file and then send this to rizomuv and hit F. First of all, I'm going to enable symmetry and show the symmetry modifier and click on this mesh uh, bounding box to center, and it found the symmetry, and I'm going to close it and we can work in the symmetry. Now I'm not going to use the auto seams feature because I know that it will be a bit easier if I do it uh, manually. I'm going to hit I for isolate. This is the isolate tool. I just isolated this top part, and in the edge selection mode I'm just going to select this edge loop, and I might possibly click on this geometric button. If I uh, click this, it can find the alternate path. In this case the selection would be a lot easier, so I won't have to hunt down and find and select all of these edges. So that's it, couple of clicks, and then I'm going to press a C to cut, which is this tool, and I'm going to press unfold, and yeah, I think it's okay, it's very nice unfold. So I'm going to click on show, or I am going to press I again, in this case show, and now I think I'm going to turn off the symmetry, and I'm going to hit I to isolate this part of the table leg. And remember, I have this geometric button turned on. Double click these edges, these are done, and possibly the bottom ones as well. Now I'm going to press the Y key to show all, and I'm going to press the C key to cut, and I think I'm going to go into island mode and double click to select these, and I'm going to press the U key, which is the hotkey for unfold, U, and this has been unfold, and I'm going to press the O key to optimize this, and possibly press the P key, which is the shortcut for this pack, P, and something has been done. I should have done, by press the P key for this, like this way. Now I'm going to double click my middle mouse button to select this whole island, for this whole geometry piece in the island selection mode, and I'm going to try this topocopy and possibly click on this update similar button, and let's see what happens. And if I am right, it's going to, yeah, well, I think it did found all of these objects symmetrical. And if I press pack, voila, you can see that it has been done. Now everything has been unwrapped, and this was not very time consuming, and this was not hard at all, because we did follow the process and we did understand what we want to do. Remember the rule: you have to have a vision, and you have to realize what you are going for. So we did understand the process, and that's why we did pack this, and we almost have our textile density achieved. uh, I'd say that we could the next thing would be to align these to the right direction. In this case, this is okay, and this one is not, this one is not. So we could like I said, do it manually, or we could try to set up the initial orientation to the up y world axis to y, and try to pack it again. And uh, in many instances it can do a good job, and it you know we could try to packing accuracy, and we can up this to here and here, let it uh, give Rhizome UV some more iterations. So let's try it, and you can see that uh, it is doing. And yes, well, it's the same. So the optimization part, now this part of the table we are not going to see this, so I'm just going to do this, scale it down, way down, and I am going to set the min and max scaling to 100%, and click on this pack translate, which is not going to move, rotate, or scale these islands, which we have locked. And for some reason it did not work previously, but it did work now. You can see that everything is now perfectly aligned to world up axis, and we don't have to manually put them like this way. So one thing I did not like about what it has done to these things, and I'm just going to put them over here, and I'm just going to select them and just put them over here just for consistency sake. And I could click the straighten these, and put them over to here. And this one I could try this as well. Remember this, and we could align them like this, and like on top of this, and we can give them spacing. uh, we could try this. In this case it kind of work, I think I'm going to set the pixel. Yeah, this is great. You know what I did was distribute space, and we set them. Give them 4 pixel margin. In this case, I think I'm going to give this 8 pixel because margin is our margin is set to 8 pixel. So I'm going to hit the what's this thing called spacing. I think so. Yeah, it's distributed spacing. So I'm going to place it here, and I'm just going to place this here. So I think just click on straighten here. For some reason it was not. So yeah, it's okay. By the way, we did reached our target max textile density, and I'm not going for I think for now I'm not going to be sending this asset to Unreal, but I am still targeting my textile density, and I'm going to hit save to send this object back to max. And congratulations, it has been done. So I'm going to hit save, and these objects are done, and the next would be the possibly the tough part, like doing this window and these walls. So the next thing would be to unwrap this window frame and this glass. Glass is a simple object, but this window frame is a bit technical. uh, Let me just send it to the Rhizome UV so you can better understand what is happening. Remember that this was the text and the plan that we wrote down. If I press F, you can see that we have some all sort of weird geometrical issues. And let me just close up Rhizome UV. Because this geometry came from Revit, Max can understand it, but the other 3D applications cannot understand it. And we have to fix the geometry edge flow and fix the modeling problems as well. First of all, just let me turn off these selection brackets and save Max file. Now I'm going to use the symmetry modifier, in this case Y, and we have some slight shift. No, no, it was probably because of the texture grid. And we have to fix this, and we have to fix some of uh, this geometrical problem as well. And I'm going to show the ribbon and do the paint connect, and by pressing the control key we can easily just connect these edges. You can use the traditional cut tool as well. And this is a weird edge as well. If I show on end selection and flip my symmetry modifier, remember we are doing this side, so going back to here, and then click on the paint connect, and I'm holding down control while dragging from this vertex position to this vertex position. And this is not connecting. It could mean two possible things. Let me just try the traditional cut tool, and this is not working as well. I could possibly change the angle of this face, because this is not why this is not working, because we can see that the face is is being, I think it's going into this geometrical border. That's why it wasn't connecting as well. So to me this seems a very technical problem, because this window frame, it came from Revit, and I there is two option. I could try to manually find and connect and fix these, or uh, I might just use some of the installer functionality to rebuild this geometrical. But I tend not to use this software and try to manually fix it. Let's see how far can we go if we you know try to do this. Mm, if we can delete this face and delete this, and possibly delete this as well, and delete this face, and let's see if we can go into edge mode and bridge these now. Not to extrude, the bridge, by click dragging. Let me just click the override to off, and inspect the geometry. There is the problem as well. Delete this, delete, not possibly this. Now I think we should be able to bridge these now. Yes. And if we, now this has been done, and turn on the symmetry. Yes, that's it's looking now okay. And if we move to the other side, I think we possibly have some errors over here as well. They can be welded. Yes, they can be welded. So bottom and bottom backside, and let me just go to paint connect once again, and I think we should delete this face as well and try to do a bridge connection as well. Good job. There you go. Now paint connect by holding down the control key, and not the swift loop, the paint connect once again. Switch to my symmetry mode and undo. Apply the edit poly modifier on top, and go to vertex mode, press Ctrl A to select all of the vertices and hit weld. And I think they've been welded, and we have a problem over here. Let's try to inspect this. Yep, we have overlapping faces. I think this one is overlapping, or the other one was overlapping. I think I'm just going to delete this and try to, really bad geometry. Really, really bad geometry over here. This is what happens when we, import objects from other softwares. In this case, we imported this window frame from Revit. And just try to bridge this again, and this is okay. But we still have bad geometry, and it's personal preference that you want to use the Revit model, or build up your model in 3ds Max. I think the better way to approach would be to find some sort of cyanide tools, or some sort of like InstaLUD. They can help a lot with the rebuilding of the meshes, so you don't have to do the manual processing. So this is, I think, fairly simple as well. Are these six sides? Six, yes. I was just making sure that these were not overlapping double faces. So I'm just going to hit the isolate button, hit the Control S, and I think I have to put the symmetry modifier once again and flip it so that this will be correct. I think we should try to fix this edge as well. Let me just do the Control and backspace to remove this and show end result. And now the symmetry have fixed this problem as well. And remember, we still have some inner polygons which we did not address properly, which we have to deal when we are going to UV this window frame. So just test it, send it to rizomuv, and hopefully uh, it will work properly. Hit the F key and voila. Now it's somewhat working properly and somewhat not, because you see this green line, it's showing that it has some overlapping polygons or some underneath polygons as well. If I go to wireframe, you can see now that it's very clear that these are you know underlying or overlapping polygons, which we could try to fix. I think it's going to be a problem when we are going to unwrap this object. And let's see, we could try it. I can just pick up the polygon. If I could just try, I could just try to, auto seam this with the hard edge and lowering the algorithm, select and press C to cut, unwrap and pack. And this is possibly a very decent solution, and I think I'm going to just go with that. uh, I'm going to just cut these because these are just way too difficult edges. Cut, select these edges and press cut, and so as this, and just select this, cut, and also these rectangular type of objects, they will not be good when doing unwraps. The shapes of these, what I personally like is I want these to be straight, nice and flat. So I'm going to press unwrap, pack, possibly optimize, and I have to press the O key held down, so you can see that they are being straightened as much as they can. And if we look at our checkerboard, this is problematic a bit, but no, it's not. So let me just quickly verify the size of our object, and it's possibly, yeah, it's possibly in between 200 by 200 UV space, so we can, I think, get away with a 2K texture. And yeah, we almost got the texel density to 9.45. Remember, I'm not doing this 100% precise because I'm still not planning to put these objects into Unreal or any other gaming engine. If you want to be going for some sort of gaming engine work, you want to be hitting your target density, which is this. But I'm going to keep it loose and fairly easy. And this is, I think, internal edge, and click on the polygon. Where is this? Press the F key in the 3D view. I think, yep, this is the internal geometrical edge as well. So I'm not going to bother with this, but I am going to look out for these. And I think the checkers are even, and we have to move to the next part, which is the text, which is absolutely wrong. The sevens are going flipped. Some of them are, and some of them are not. We have to set our initial orientation to Y, which is this, up axis to Y, and press the optimize, this pack, and just, I think I'm going to press the O key, hold it down like a lot of time, and you can see that rizomuv is doing some optimization in the background. And if I look here, look at my object now, I think the text is properly oriented and everything else has been unwrapped. And for me, it's looking a lot well. And I'm going to just hit on save and bring this uh, piece back into 3ds Max. and it has been done. And for the glass part, I'm not, I could just send it to Rhizome, but I'm just going to put up a simple unwrap modifier in Max and just quickly press the Control E to open up the mapping UV editor and just click on the pattern mapping and just click on here. That's it. And